I got a DUI, and I got the DUI in Arizona. I had to go to jail for 30 days, and
Wait, jail for 30 days?
yeah, it's a whole thing.
Is that Arizona?
That's Arizona only. It's so annoying because I'm from Wisconsin. Like, you literally in Wisconsin, you can get like 17 DUIs before they call your cell phone, and they're like, please stop. Like,
Can you only drink 2 drinks tonight?
yeah.
Cawfee Talk. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cawfee Talk with Cannistraci. This morning, I want to say I'm so excited to have this guest in studio with me. I want to say that. But I have a very interesting first introduction with this guest. First of all, I'll say this about her because I have to say it. I very rarely, as a comedian, laugh out loud anymore at other people. Like, I actually just texted Adrienne Appalucci, who was a guest on this podcast, a couple nights ago, and I said, I just don't find anybody funny anymore. And then I watched this next comedian on stage a few nights ago, and I laughed, and I go, oh my God, she restored my faith in me having a sense of humor. But she was very rude to me. And then after she made me laugh, I doubted and questioned my own self-worth immediately. Welcome to Cawfee Talk, Brittany Schmitt.
Oh my God.
First of all, guys, I love this. I watched her special, posted about it because I really thought she was just so funny. I'll talk about her comedy after I tell you about my introduction.
No, this is
You
so
find
bad.
somebody funny, you follow them online, and then the other night she DM'd me. You DM'd me and you said, I can't wait to meet you. And I got so excited. And I said, yes, we're on a show together. I can't wait to meet you too.
Yeah.
I even sent the little kissy face emojis.
Mm-hmm.
And then I walked into the green room and I was pouring myself a cup of tea. You don't remember this part.
Oh, no.
I was pouring myself a cup of tea and you came out of the bathroom. You must have walked past me and maybe didn't see you come into the club. I was there before you. And I'm pouring the tea and you walk out of the bathroom and I got excited, I did my hair a little bit nicer that night. I'm like, oh, she likes me.
My God.
I have a friend in LA and you came out of the bathroom and you went like this, hi. And then you just kept walking. So you
No.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, she's on stage next. Maybe she's just getting in her head.
No.
I'm going to go sit at a table because I was sitting at the table with Craig Robinson, somebody else that you know very well. And we
This
were
is such a bad story.
we were sitting, Craig and I. We were at the Catalina Jazz Club. It's not a traditional looking club, but we were at a table close to the green room. We weren't necessarily immersed in an audience watching a show, right? You could tell we were a little bit off to the side. We weren't just audience members.
I'm having a heart attack right
Brittany
now.
gets on stage, and Craig and I sat through your whole set at the table, and we watched you, and we were both laughing out loud. And I was like, wow, I just said I don't laugh out loud at shows anymore. And she got off stage. You walked past me. She walked past me, and I reached back and grabbed her hands because Craig and I are there. And I was like, great set, babe. And you were like, thanks, fan. And then you kept walking. And left.
I know.
So now.
How's she on your
But
podcast today?
because
we need it.
There was a redeeming DM.
Because we're gonna fist fight right now.
Because I'm from the Bronx,
Yeah,
right? And I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
show this
fist
girl
fight.
from Wisconsin what I'm about. No.
Okay, no. So then I DM you the next morning saying, oh my
Wait.
God, I can't believe I didn't see you last night.
So wait, first of all, I went home. I ended up having a good set, and Craig and I had a great hang. We were talking a lot, and I just felt good about being in LA because I'm still new here. But I still went home like sad, like the boy I liked didn't ask me to dance. And I was like, did I not look cool enough? What was going on? And so then I woke up.
I thought you were a fan.
She thought I was which I technically am, but
oh my God. No, but wait, let's reverse the whole ship.
who I
Let's
was sitting with.
reverse the
Okay.
whole ship right now.
That's your take. All right, now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
now
listening.
here's
I'm
your
open-minded.
floor.
I don't have much of a defense other than I truly have facial blindness. If I don't see you exactly where I need to see you, like when I saw you in the green room, I should have clocked it.
Right.
But I gotta be honest, I just took a shit in that toilet and I didn't want to look anyone in the eyes.
You don't want me to go in after and smell it.
So I ran out of the green room.
All right, I'll forgive you on number one. But sitting with
Which is like a cardinal sin in
Yeah,
the
okay.
comedy community. You can't go do that.
Listen,
but
you do what you gotta do.
I smoked a cigarette before I
Okay.
went in, and I was like, it's time.
This is it.
And then I had to go on stage. And then afterward, I completely forgot you were on the lineup. Like my brain,
Okay.
it was just like, I was so excited to meet you. And then I was like, White Lotus is
Well,
on. The White Lotus finale is on. I'm going to go do this set really quick. I'm going to go right back home.
Mhm.
I completely forgot about everyone else. And then I saw Craig when I walked in. I saw Craig like off to the side by himself on a table like outside. So I knew it was Craig.
Because I went in to get the tea. Him and I were sitting at a table. I went to go get the tea to fill it up and then saw you. Got ignored, right?
Right. See,
Then I
that's
went
when I
back.
wish you would have been like, hey, bitch.
You didn't
Ding
give me the,
dong.
it was like,
Ding dong,
It was-
bitch.
it was this
No,
quick.
I just have nothing to say other than I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no.
And I got off stage and I hated my set.
it was so good.
But the whole time I was like, like, I don't often get nervous to perform before somebody, but Tiffany Haddish is one of those people where I just think the world of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the set isn't good. These jokes aren't landing. Nothing's working. I hate. I was so in my head about my own set. I was then in my head while I'm doing the jokes, I'm like, this table setup is horrible. This is bad. This is not how this should be run. I like wanted to go to the manager and tell them like what to change. And my brain was just going the fuck off. And so I get off stage and a few people, in my defense, had grabbed me
I
and
saw
were
them.
like, well, you're great.
Yeah.
You're right. So
But I
then-
was,
So then I was, no, totally. Fuck me completely. Because I looked at you, I just thought it was an interracial couple. I didn't even clock Craig Robinson, who I had just been talking to. I didn't even realize that was him.
Yeah.
So I completely ignored him
my favorite part, she goes, I don't recognize Skinny Craig either.
I don't
Craig just
recognize-
lost so much. He like had to lose like 30 pounds since I last seen him.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Skinny Craig is
Yeah.
a whole different Craig.
Yeah.
But I really just thought you were a real nice lady and an interracial couple. And you really liked my set.
We did.
And then when I got home the next morning, I was like, wait a minute, why didn't I see her? And I DM'd you right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, you're
And then, yeah.
from hell.
And she was like, let's go to coffee. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we're going to Coffee Talk.
Yeah.
We're talking. I'm not saying this story until there is a mic in front of me. Because it was one of those moments where you're like, is it me?
Yeah.
Was it me?
No, but also like I followed you first. So that's like the crazy thing. Like I became a fan of you first. You followed me back. So it's like I knew about you. I knew what you were doing. I always thought you were funny. I have this facial blindness. And then also like if I don't see you exactly where I need to see you at the right time,
there
I
was.
can't.
And that's happened to you before. You said you've been
all
talking
the time.
to people.
It happens all the time where people will come up to me and people get mad at me and I understand why.
Right.
Where they'll be like, we've met like 6 times. And I'm like,
Sorry.
that's nice. Like
I'm not rude.
No, I'm not. I don't try and be rude. I
No.
think I can be rude.
Right.
I think I can be rude.
But it's not intentional.
I was definitely not trying to be rude
Yeah,
to you.
no, I
I'm
know.
sorry. That's such a fucking bad first experience.
Kind of. I mean, it made for great it made for great talk. But
mean-
what's so crazy and what I love so much about you saying how you were in your head, because
Mhm.
I've had that.
Mhm.
I'm in my head. I don't like this. I don't like the way the show went. I'm all upset the next day, and I get a ton of DMs from people. They're like, "I loved the show last night," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the bar is set so low. I hate it."
Yeah.
You went up there, and I'm not just saying it because Craig and I were there from the beginning. Probably like the best set that anybody had on the show. And then Craig and I went up, and we obviously
You're like,
did
and then
well.
Craig and I went up, and then,
no,
and then better sets were had.
No, I had to. No, I had. It was like, but you were so good. Like we were laughing. Like, and I feel as a comedian, I don't know if you're immune to it now. I really don't laugh as much anymore. I
Oh.
could see a joke and go, wow, that's so well done, or I wish I thought of that, or
yeah.
that's smart. But I'm
Yeah.
not like, haha.
Yeah. Yeah. I still love to laugh at a joke that I think is great, but I understand what you're saying.
Do
Like
you-
I'll
do
watch
you-
it and I'll just
yeah.
be like, that was smart. That's
Yeah.
cool. And I remember when I first got back into comedy, because I started comedy technically in 2013, but I did it as like a hobby.
Oh, okay.
And then I didn't come back full time until 2020. And I remember when I came, or 2018.
How long did you do it in 2013?
I was literally doing it like twice a month for like 2 years.
Okay.
So it was never because I
Mhm.
had a whole different job.
Mhm.
So it was always just a hobby. And then when I came back and I was like, I want to fucking do this, I remember I started running my own show and Fahim Anwar came and he was just like, he just would sit there and just be like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, how miserable to like not laugh at
Laugh,
what they're
right.
doing and to like kind of hate it. And I was just like, oh, he's like, when you do it long enough, you'll just stop thinking things are funny.
I don't stop thinking things, although right before, I'm not gonna lie, I just had texted somebody like, I don't think I laughed
Yeah.
anymore. I don't think, and you got on and I laughed, like I out loud laughed.
Yeah.
And you don't think you're having a good set. And there Craig and I are watching you and laughing out loud.
Yeah.
The
Which
audience,
is the most meaningful laugh, by the way,
right,
like another comedian's.
100%.
Yeah.
But the audience, the reaction to you was like far superior, and yet you still were like, they're not laughing, it's not landing, because of one person you thought was watching, because you literally brought Tiffany up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
And by the way, she wasn't watching. By the way, she was in the green room.
because nobody is. She was ordering a drink actually and
Yeah.
getting it right. I was like, she's gonna be late to the stage because she's still ordering the
Right.
drink as you were doing her introduction.
Right.
And it's like that's such a comedian's moment of how much we care.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't make a difference how good we are or how many accolades we get. We will fixate on
Yeah.
like it. And what I kind of love about your comedy, and this is what I'll say, is you take. So what I think is brilliant for me is when everything could be rooted in complete trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And there is such a fine line between hilarious and not funny
Yeah.
when it's that fine a line
Yeah.
and that traumatic. And you land on hilarious every time for me with the jokes that you do.
Oh, thank you.
And they are rooted in like
darkness.
darkness.
Yeah.
And
The darkest shit.
yeah, from
that's-
divorce to your mom, to your childhood,
Mhm.
to addiction,
Mm-hmm.
all rooted in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I, in a way, like when I was watching you, and I've seen your comedy before, so it wasn't a surprise. Not that I was saying I heard the same jokes, but I knew your style.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, see what she's doing? I play safe.
Mm.
So I came from a whole family of addicts. Talk about my dad, being an alcoholic my whole life. I make surface level jokes, like,
Mhm.
like I knew he was a drunk because no other kids' dads were sleeping, on the lawn, or like I would say
Yeah.
I would say things that were like a little misdirection, but like very safe.
Yeah.
And you did it, and you do it in a way that is not safe.
Yeah, no, it's not. The internal creative compass you have to have as a comedian needs to be so strong to make those jokes work, because this joke that he's talking about, so it's basically about my mom abusing us when we were kids. It's like, my mom, she always wanted to be the hottest mom. She had big fake tits and an eating disorder. And when my sister and I would go to school, she would send us to school with Slim Fast shakes in a brown paper bag as our lunch. That was our whole lunch. And anytime anyone tells you things could have been worse, I like to say, yeah, they could have been, but I would take a right hook any day for a Lunchable. And I'm like, the good news is my mom did reach her goal weight when she was cremated. She wanted,
Which is
and then it's like she wanted to be the hottest, or what she wanted to be the hottest mom she is, whatever. I don't remember the last line. It's like, so I write with like a group of writers that I've written with forever. And there's a teacher that I learned from. His name's Jerry Katzman. And he kept telling me, he's like, this is not a joke. This is not funny. Something is missing, because I didn't have the cremation bit at the
Okay.
end, and I didn't have the hottest mom bit at the end.
okay.
But I was like, there's something so funny about a mom sending her kids to
Just
school
get-
with Slim Fast shakes. Like, that's funny. Like, I know it's trauma, but
Right.
it is funny.
Mhm.
And I worked on that joke for probably 7 years before I finally found the two tags that made it funny.
Right.
But it's like, sometimes you have a thing and you're like, this is just trauma. This is just trauma. And it makes the audience really uncomfortable. You're like, I had this horrible thing happen to me and now I'm telling you about it, which feels like I'm handing it to you. So you have to have something strong enough to let them off the hook,
Right.
where they're like, we can laugh. Everything's fine. She's okay.
Right.
So it's like just having like a compass on things that you think are funny when they're traumatic is so important, because like it might take a lot of time to get it there, but when it gets there, I'm like,
And the only way to really know is to perform it
and keep going
And keep
not
going,
stop.
right.
And like, you can't listen to the people like, yeah, I love my teacher, he's great, but like him being like, this isn't a joke, this isn't a joke. I'm like, no, it is. There's something here.
Do you find that because your humor is dark? Like me, I loved it. And
Mhm.
I think it's so well done. And I think you probably more times than most win an
Mhm.
audience over. Do you ever feel like sometimes like people get offended or people
Oh,
get
all the time.
all the time?
All the time. Even my own fans. Like, I'll have people come to my shows because they like a joke. Like, I have jokes about sex and like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
relationships and
Mm-hmm.
marriages and whatever, like things that are like lighter. And then the last 15 minutes of my hour right now is all about my dead mom and other death and like
Mm-hmm.
horrible shit. And it's like people are like, we came to a comedy show to laugh. Like, but you're giving us all of like this is a lot
Mm-hmm.
to give to them. So it's yeah, there are people that get super offended. I mean, I look, it's like the thing that Jesselnick says because he does such offensive humor too, and even though his isn't real or truthful, he's like, I never look anyone in the eyes because he just looks past, because like you can't take on somebody processing what you just said, because I did that like in
That's a
San
great
Diego.
tip.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
like
love this.
you can't watch someone processing what you just told them. That's not your responsibility. But like there have been a few times where I look audience members in the eyes and they're like disgusted
We're
and they're
horrified.
angry. I just did this show at Mic Drop in Plano, Texas, back to back, two shows one night, both the worst shows I've ever done in my life. It's just like Bible Belt
Mm-hmm.
America. Don't think anything I'm saying is funny. I'm like, why are you guys here? How'd you find out about me?
Right,
Is this like a
right.
hostage situation? Like
Right.
there was nothing. And I usually have little things where I'm like, oh, if I feel I'm getting uncomfortable, I know a little like a quick little
Caveat.
thing
Mm-hmm.
I can say to let him off the hook, and then I'm gonna go back into it. And even those things weren't working, and I was like, oh, this is tough. I was sweating down the back of my knees. I was like, this is leg day, dog.
This is a whole new workout on
Yeah.
the stage today.
Yeah.
But I feel like your delivery is so perfect for what you're saying because you give people a beat. Because
Mhm.
sometimes you're saying it and then you like it's almost so smart and so dark and so funny that you have to give it a second for
Yeah.
people to process it, because the longer you held on to your, and I watch it because I'm, always a student in the game.
Mhm.
Doesn't make a difference how long I'm doing it. People were and the laughs started getting louder. Like they laughed. The people who got it initially laughed,
Mhm.
and then you gave it enough of a beat that the people that needed a second to process it then started laughing. They're like, "Oh
Yeah.
wait, they're laughing. It's funny. What did she just say?
Yeah.
Oh, that is. Oh, now I
Mhm.
got it."
Yeah, that
And that's
is
an art form.
thank
Yeah.
you. That is part of the challenge with my comedy, right? Because I want it to be smart,
Hmm.
but a lot of people aren't that smart, and I'm not being rude, but like there's a
No.
reason why you can watch certain comedy and everyone gets it right away, and those are the best people. Those are the people that are selling out arenas. Those are like
Hmm.
Shane Gillis. He's a genius, but what he's saying is so easy to catch right away that it's the
Hmm.
best comedy for everyone, because you don't have to wait and let them think about it. There's
Hmm.
nothing to marinate on. But for me, I'm like, I know sometimes I'm saying things that are like double entendres, or I'm doing certain things with the use of my language that people need to catch. So then I wait, and then people are like, oh, it's so, people in my comments will be like, oh, it's so cringe, you wait for people to laugh. And I'm like, no, I'm waiting for them to get
I'm waiting for them to
it. Yeah.
understand, because it
Yeah.
is like sometimes people come up to me after a show and I'll know in my head it didn't land right or I didn't feel good about it, and some people are like, "Oh, you're a little too smart for the crowd," and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like
Well, it's better that way than the other.
I
But
know, but there are times where I'm like, it's kind of going back to knowing my audience, but at the same time, it's my material,
yeah.
it's my persona. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to, if I was purchasing a ticket to see Brittany Schmitt, I want to see the Brittany Schmitt I saw the other night. Like
Mhm.
that to me was comedy because it was
Oh, you're
so.
so sweet.
No, it's true. I mean it. I mean, I can say that now that she said that she
No,
didn't
no.
recognize she had facial blindness, because I was gonna be like, yeah, whatever. She was funny.
Anyway,
Next,
she's a bitch. Get her
yeah,
out of
another
here.
funny bitch.
Yeah.
But no, I did, and I appreciated it. And then after you told me that you didn't recognize me,
Yeah, we're good.
everybody's like,
no.
"How was the show?" I was like, "Brittany was amazing." That's only because she DM'd me though.
Totally.
So you grew up. I talk a lot about nostalgia.
Wait. I want to ask you a question
go.
before you go. When you're on stage, do you have an alter ego?
I'm more or less trying to just be more real of really who I am. I
Yeah.
think with the alter ego thing is me pretending that I'm okay with everything. Like the
Mhm.
jokes I make you think I'm healed and I'm not.
Right. Well, but there's an art to that too, because audiences need to feel like you're okay in order to laugh.
Right.
Because like if you do a joke too soon after like the inciting incident
Mhm,
happened.
mhm.
Like after my divorce, I tried to get on stage and be like, ha, 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 I'm
Yeah.
divorced. And I was like dying inside.
Mhm.
The crowd could feel I was not okay, and they
Wow.
didn't laugh. And I was like, oh, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? How do you make them feel like you're okay if you're not? You're just like a good actress?
I think I think I just go, I have to play to them.
Yeah.
I think what changed about me was when people started buying tickets to see me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt this enormous weight on me. Like if you saw me at a show by chance,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do what I wanted to do and hope that you liked me. And you had
Yeah.
3 or 4 other comics that were funny that you could have
Yeah.
leaned on, hopefully were funny that you could lean on. But once I started selling tickets, I think that's when I overthought it.
Yeah.
And when I I became too careful, and which I'm trying to change now in my new writing. But
Mhm.
like I go like, oh my God, this audience is coming to see. Also, this is what messed with me as far as alter ego. I started doing social media, and I became very specific,
Mm-hmm.
and I found that those were the people that were coming out to
Yep.
see me, and I got really nervous. And I'll never forget, I called Colin Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I'm going to be typecasted as this Italian comedian. And that's not really what I am. That's not just my comedy. And he was like, the minute you open your mouth, people hear New York Italian. Like,
Yeah.
that is never going to change.
Yeah.
He's like, but the more, and I have to give Josh Wolf this credit too, because they both gave me the same advice, and they both get mad when I say the other one said it. But the more specific you are, the more universal you'll be, was kind of like the message that they gave me. But the problem is, online, the only thing that hits for me is like the Italian American persona.
So this is
So that alter ego, yes, because
Yes.
that's not really who I am. And a
Right.
lot of times for an audience, which is a great question that you made me think of it, I play to that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I went to Chicago and I was like, I got to just be
Yeah.
this Italian, bitter
Mhm.
wife, New York persona, because
Mhm.
that's what they're coming to see.
Right.
People were coming to my shows at one point because I got nostalgic one day and held the phone up to my hand and started saying these Italian words and phrases I heard growing up. These videos went so viral, and
Mhm.
people started coming out to shows, and then after the show, they'd be like, "Oh my God, you were so funny," and I was like, "Hey, what did you think you were
what'd you
coming?"
think? Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, we thought you were gonna do." We didn't realize it was stand-up comedy,
Oh.
and I'm like, "You bought tickets to a show to hear me say words that you know?"
Right.
And I was like, I appreciate the sale,
Right.
and I was like, wow. So
Mhm.
then I think I did start to just, I have to play to the audience. I have to play to the
Mhm.
audience. So I don't know if it's my truest form.
The reason I ask, because I see this persona online, and I've
Mhm.
seen people, and I've known people intimately who do this like persona. Like I
Mhm.
don't know. Do you know Charlie Barron's by any chance? So he's a Midwest comic, but he was like in LA trying to do comedy, and then he honed into the Wisconsinisms, like just like the things you say just in Wisconsin. Like you had this on yours too, where it's yeah, no. Like
Yeah.
in Wisconsin, they're like, yeah, no. Like he
Mhm.
just like did all this Wisconsinism stuff, and then he became known. Like that's what he blew up off of. He became known as that.
But did
And
it translate here?
not really.
No.
Yeah. So he has a huge, like he has a massive fan base. Massive, massive fan
Mhm.
base, but it's all in the Midwest pretty
Right.
much. There's, little East Coast, there's a little wherever, but they're all just transplants. They're like
Mhm.
the people from Wisconsin that think that's funny.
Right. And a lot of me, and that's what my fear was. It's like, I want to be a mainstream comic in the clubs. I don't want to be this, and influencer social media type person doing these videos online, which is why I never just strictly do those.
Right.
Like I'm like, I'll throw a stand-up clip. Is the stand-up clip gonna ever do as well as
Right.
me
Right.
going, you're a real get owner? No, it's not. Like
Yeah.
the algorithm's not gonna favor me, and that my audience is not gonna favor that, but they'll still come out to shows.
Well, you never know.
But the struggle I had was being in the clubs,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, those are different jokes.
Yeah.
And so that's the fine line for me with the alter ego, is like
Yeah.
which is, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's interesting because it's almost like a completely different person, right?
Mhm.
Like with Charlie, like who he was just like, this is what I'm doing. This isn't even me. This is just something I know works.
Yeah.
He's like, me, if I did like real stand up, it would be so much different, but I don't know.
when I do clubs, my act is different than when I headline.
Yeah.
So you asked me the question. I'm like, no, I go up there. I try to be real authentic.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
no, wait a minute. I
yeah.
actually don't.
Yeah.
I'm actually, wow, Brittany.
Sorry.
First you don't recognize me. Now I don't recognize
Now
myself.
I'm making you look at yourself.
Now I'm going home to look in the mirror for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do I do feel like, you know what's so funny though, because of doing the New York thing, like you said, Charlie's doing the Wisconsin thing. People who do come to my shows, like in Arizona, people leave New York,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they feel like they're getting a piece of home with me.
Yeah.
And I do want to play to that, and I do care about those audiences because,
Mhm.
but I just have to. I'm trying to find the line now between being the stand-up comic I know that I am. Because listen,
Mhm.
when I was on the road with Joey Diaz or Josh Wolf, the headliners that put me on were not, there wasn't those weren't. I'm going to be in Oklahoma
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Josh
yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
None of those audience members are coming for the Italian American words and
Right,
phrases,
right,
right? They're
right,
coming,
right.
and first of all, they're coming for Josh Wolf.
Right.
So, but what Josh says and with me is like, he's like, you're so specific that they're going to find a he still thinks that they find that relatability factor to me.
Mhm.
So I do different comedy, but it's still
Mhm.
rooted in that, like in my regular hour act.
Yeah. I wonder
So,
if there's a way to do two different ones, like how Becky Robinson does, like Becky Robinson
Mhm.
stand up and Entitled Housewife.
Yes.
Like that. I mean, I know Entitled Housewife is a whole character, and you're
Right.
not like a whole character.
well,
But
she just filmed a special. I wonder, was
as,
that as,
but as both, I think she did like I think it was like 30 minutes as one and 30 minutes as Entitled
That's
and 30
cool.
as Becky.
I mean, I don't have actually has like an actual character.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely have a bigger Italian American persona.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Oh my God, Entitled is the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
That character is nuts.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
But
So.
do you feel that a lot of like how you grew up is why you do comedy?
Oh yeah, because my mom didn't love me. Yeah.
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 I mean, it's would you
literally-
you wouldn't be as funny without the trauma.
literally- My gay friends have a young daughter, and I got a FaceTime from him the other day, and I answer it, and it's the young daughter, and she's just like, "Why do you tell jokes for a living?" And I was like, "Because my mom didn't love me as a child," and she's 6, and she's like, "Huh?" And then he like grabbed the phone. He's like, "Jesus Christ, Brittany!"
Right.
And I was like, "Well, one day she's gonna feel the same,
Right, because she doesn't even have a mom.
Yeah, 'cause where's her mom? You know? But yeah, no, it's that. I don't know if Wisconsin had much to do with it. I think it's more the trauma.
Mhm.
And then just like I became funny because of that. But I wasn't like when I was a kid, I was not a funny kid. I was really a quiet kid. I was kind of like an accountant. I just like got my shit done. I was not that creative. I just really wanted to be popular and nobody liked me. Nobody.
I don't believe it.
No, they didn't.
They
They didn't.
just-
Nobody. It's that thing. It's that stank, right? When you want something too bad, people
Mhm.
don't. They're like, "Ew, get away!" Like, and I was just like, "I really want to be your friend. I really want to be." I would try and buy people shit. They're like, "What
Oh
are
my
you
God, what is
doing?"
happening right now?
Yeah, it was a real mess. And then honestly, when I started drinking, that was like that like unlocked everything in me. I was just like, "Fuck all of y'all!" Like,
Mhm.
I stopped caring. I stopped trying to be somebody else. I stopped trying to get people's approval. I just was like, I found alcohol. This is my new personality. This is my new best friend.
Which is
And-
so common.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
just like found, I really did. It helped me find myself. Like I got funny, I got confident, and sure, it was the tequila, but like whatever. I figured it out. And then like through college, I developed my sense of humor, but I never thought I was going to be a comedian. I never was like, that's a dream of, no, I'm like, I remember when Dave Attell's Insomniac tour came out. I only knew about it because Dane Cook was huge at the time, and
Mhm.
Dane Cook was on it. And so I was like, oh, I want to see what he's doing. And then I remember Greg Giraldo was also on that.
Oh my God, hands down one of my favorite.
One of my favorites.
I mean, the best.
So that was when I was like, what he's doing
yes.
is really interesting. Like I was like, yeah, Dane's funny, whatever. I see what he's doing.
Dane's a bro. You're
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
relate to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what Greg was doing was so smart. And I kept that DVD literally forever. I lent it to a friend and I was like, you need to give this back. It's so special to me. I never got it back. But that was when I was like, there's something really fucking smart here that I really, like I admired a stand-up for the first time. I
Mhm.
didn't just look to them for laughter. And then when I moved to LA, I was working in advertising and
How long ago was that, LA?
I moved here in 2011.
Okay.
Long time ago. And I got a DUI, and I got the DUI in Arizona. I had to go to jail for 30 days, and
Wait, jail for 30 days?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Is that Arizona?
That's Arizona only. It's so annoying because I'm from Wisconsin. Like, you literally in Wisconsin, you can get like 17 DUIs before they call your cell phone, and they're like, "Please stop." Like,
Can you only drink 2 drinks tonight?
yeah. They're like, can you just chill the fuck out? So
Wait a minute, this is like a public service announcement right now. Everybody needs to listen to this.
everyone needs to know this. This is how I felt when I got my DUI, because I was like, it's gonna be fine. I'm from Wisconsin. I moved here in May of 2011. Was interning at an ad agency. In December, I couldn't afford to fly home for Christmas, so I went to Arizona to see a girlfriend. Drank and drove, got a DUI, and in my mugshot, I'm smiling from ear to ear.
Because you think you're getting out.
Because I'm just like, it's fine. Like, no big deal. It's a rite of passage, pretty much. And the next day, we were like tailgating for her brother's football game, and they're like, "Oh no, you're gonna go to jail." And I was like, "No, I'm not." Like, what are you talking? I'm like, "I'm white. Like, I'm not going to jail."
This
Like,
is not the way that works.
yeah, no, I don't think so. And they're like, "Yeah, no, you're gonna go to jail." And so I had to lawyer up, and yeah, I had to go to jail for 30 days, but I was able to serve it in Beverly Hills at the pay to stay, so I could get out to go to work, because otherwise I would have lost my job and had to like move home. It was this whole thing. I was so broke. I was depressed. I was just like miserable. And this guy I was working with, he was doing stand up, and he was like, you probably really need therapy. He's like, but I know you can't afford it, so you should try stand up. And I was like, what makes you think I can't do that either? And he's just like, there's this teacher, call him, like, take the class. He's like, I promise it'll help you. And that class like changed my life. Like, it helped me like process all of the trauma of the DUI and made it into a great joke. It was just like, and the first time I did stand up, I was like, oh, this is what I was born to do. Like, the first night I did it, I was like,
You get those laughs, and you're like, oh, this was.
yeah, it really was just probably the best night of my life. Like, it's the night you find your purpose. It's so special. But then I was such a bad alcoholic and like not willing to
So
quit
you
drinking.
didn't get sober then?
No, God, no. I kept drinking for a long time.
You're sober now, currently.
Yeah. I haven't drank alcohol in almost 8 years, but I go back and forth on weed. But I'm completely sober right now. Yeah. So anyway, where was I going with that? I just like, the Wisconsin thing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what the fuck just happened?
No, it's.
But yeah, no,
I'm never drinking. I had a glass of wine in Arizona. I just did the mic drop there.
So that was the thing that I thought. I'm like, this should be like when you land at the airport. It should be like the first, like if you drink and drive, you're going to jail. It should be on the back of every bathroom stall at every restaurant. I'm like, people don't know this. This is crazy. I literally had to go to jail for 30 days. That's a branding crisis.
I mean, in Beverly Hills. So is that prison that everybody jokes about? That's like.
Yeah, it's a pay to stay.
Yeah.
But it's, but
nonetheless, prison.
It's jail.
It's still jail. You still didn't sleep in your bed.
Yeah. It's still jail. And that's not great for the brand.
Well, it definitely goes with your sense of humor. So.
But yeah, no, that's how I started comedy. And then once I did it, I knew I had to do it. But I was like in advertising, and I was kind of on a trajectory that was going straight up, and I was making a bunch of money. And I was like, I couldn't see the world where if I jumped, the net would appear. I just was like
$150 spots.
Yeah. I just was like, I don't see how this is going to work. So I didn't. And then I quit, and I got married, and I got sober, and I did like a huge overhaul in my life. And then I was like, I think I have to try this again. And then I decided to quit advertising at the end of 2019, like very end. And I remember I was going to start 2020 on the road with Chris Red in London. And we were in London, and then everything started, like the pandemic started kicking up. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Mm-hmm. So I just quit this like super high paying job.
That you probably could have done from home.
Yeah. But you know what? 2020 was the best. I wrote a book. I wrote a movie. I got ready to film my first special. I filmed my first special in 2021. It was all like, honestly, if I could get 2020 and 2021 back, I mean, I'd take it.
You make me want to go to jail. I want a DUI.
Listen.
I want to get a DUI to be that successful in 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, you know what it really was that no one else was getting ahead. I was like, you can do nothing or you can do something. Right. And just the freedom of the choice was like.
And during that time, people got paralyzed.
Yeah.
And instead, you made an opportunity happen.
Yeah, some people died instead.
Right. Some people, there's that dark humor. Other people just died, but I thrived. Yeah. Die or thrive is what I always say. It's the name of her next special, Die or Thrive. So what can people expect from you now?
Nothing.
Other than not to be, we know that she won't recognize you.
I will never recognize you.
Doesn't make a difference how famous you are.
It truly doesn't. I told you this. I was talking to Cameron Diaz and I did not know it. My friend's like, you know that is. And I was like, oh,
No.
okay. She looks great. Like, I don't know what to say. No, nothing. Truly nothing. I don't know. I'm on the road a little bit. I have a few dates in May.
You have a podcast.
I do have a podcast called This Is the Worst, which is a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like I might get nothing done this year if I'm being honest.
You just told everybody they could have a choice to do nothing or do something, and she's like, "And now I did it, and now I'm not doing anything."
Yeah.
Well, I love that
Stressful.
you came and did Coffee Talk.
Thank you for having me.
I love
I'm
that.
so sorry, by the way.
I really.
For me to be like, I can't wait to meet you.
You know,
and
as
then
a-
to ignore you twice is just.
I can't wait to
that's
meet
like
you.
Psychological.
So look at me. She looked at me twice. I swear to God. And that's as a comic. This is how much if I don't have a good set, I am fucked up until I get on stage again.
Yeah.
I had a good set and still went home like so upset.
Because that was psychological warfare.
I was like, she told me that she told me that she couldn't wait to meet me, and then she looked at me twice and didn't like me. Even after I complimented her, it was a lot. I had a lot of self-doubt.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But you brought back my confidence.
Are you happy that you moved to LA?
I'm back and forth.
Oh, you are?
I didn't fully commit.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Don't know.
It's kind of sucks here, doesn't it?
See, I don't know. I think I got really tired of New York. I'm in New York my whole life.
Yeah. It's fast.
It's fast, and it's something about it. I think it's because I'm older, and I know I'm older than you, that now I always was like, I'm from the New York. I'm from the Bronx. Like, I'm not just from New York. I am from the Bronx. Like, this New York is home. And it didn't make a difference where I traveled to because I was well-traveled. Once I started doing comedy and going to the States and seeing how climate affects your city and how the aesthetics of other city. And like, I was in Arizona and San Diego in February, and I was like, yeah, this is why these people are so fucking happy. Like, I have a friend that lives in Arizona and she's always happy. And I'm like, what are you chipper about?
Yeah.
And it's because, so I do think that being here, even though it's LA, there's something about the vibe here that just, it makes me more productive. Maybe it's because I'm here alone and I'm not being a wife.
Yeah.
And I'm only focusing on comedy while I'm here.
So your husband's back home?
Yeah.
Oh, what a move.
So listen,
what a pro move.
This is, you know.
That is kind of nice.
This was, so it's, I'm really like laser focused here.
Yeah.
And figuring out what I want because the birthdays keep coming.
Yeah, well, they always do, unfortunately.
And I just.
But hey, you can stop at any time.
That's why I love her comedy. That was the thought process. So I'm not gonna quit yet.
Yeah.
Comedy or life, but I do need to figure this is my year of exploration for me.
Yeah.
And just me.
Okay.
And
how long have you been married?
We got married in 2022.
Okay.
We were supposed to be married in 2020.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
That was in New York. So
Yeah.
it was never happening. But I wasn't in a rush to do it. Like we just waited it out to have the party we had planned. And then but now we'll see. This is a year to figure myself out. And you asked me a great question. And I was like, no, I don't have an alter ego. I'm like, yeah, I absolutely do. The whole point of me complaining about my act right now. And I was literally just complaining about it. It was like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm filming it at the end of this year because I'm over the hour. I'm over that person.
Yeah.
And there's new things happening with me now.
That's such a good feeling when you're over your jokes and you know they're good. And
I know
just
they're
like,
good. And it's like, I don't even want to do them.
You're like, but I don't identify as this person anymore.
Right. And so what I'm doing now is I'm working them on stage because I want the order. I want the transitions. I want it to be as tight and as beautiful as possible because it's been a decade of work, you know.
It's like a snake shedding its skin. Like
but I want to film it and kiss it goodbye.
Yeah.
So I feel like working. I have quite a few shows this year of just headlining, and I'm gonna work it.
Mm-hmm. Where are you gonna film it?
I always said it should be obviously in New York. I would have loved a cool venue in the Bronx to kind of keep it home. Like when I had my wedding, I did it at the Bronx Zoo, and because I wanted it to be a tribute to the borough because it's such a negative stigma coming from the Bronx. But I always said
the wedding probably saved it.
Yeah,
wedding.
No, but all my vendors were support local. All my vendors had to be from the Bronx or Italian. Like, I really try to make it like support local as you can get. I mean, it was at the Bronx Zoo. It was ridiculous. It was next level Bronx. But I had, fresh mozzarella being made outside the sea lions. I spent all the money that I'll never get back and could have filmed an even better special this year had I not done it.
Well,
And I knew I didn't want it.
Fortunately,
During the
this is-
pandemic, I was like, why are we spending all this money? Like, I realized what I was doing. You get kind of caught up with it. And then I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But too many deposits were made. So we had the
there
party.
You go.
And,
There you go.
but yeah, so it's I think, I also love Rhode Island. For
Uh-huh.
some reason, that's the audience that plays to this hour.
Mm-hmm.
This hour should be filmed in front of a majority Italian American audience.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for being excited to see me. Genuinely excited.
I was excited the other day. I just forgot I blacked out. It was-
White Lotus took over. Don't say it because I haven't watched it
Oh,
yet.
you haven't?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
girl.
All right. No.
Okay.
Okay. But tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm just Brittany Schmitt on Instagram and TikTok, but don't go there. There's nothing. I got banned. Like something happened with my TikTok. Just don't worry about TikTok.
Just don't worry. Just find her on Instagram.
Yeah, and then BrittanySchmitt.com for my shows.
Okay,
yeah.
great. Thank you.
Thanks for having
Bye,
me.
babe.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Coffee Talk.